Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and we're about to be driving through Glasgow, Kentucky. And I've got to be honest, this is a little town I'm not real familiar with. I know I've been through a few times. We were coming back from a trip to the Nashville area, and we kind of looped a little bit out of the way and went to Hartsville, Tennessee to do their Civil War driving tour. And as we came up this way, kind of going towards the Bowling Green Mammoth Cave. We pretty much go through the Mammoth Cave area shortly after this, so it's not that far from Mammoth Cave. But it's a nice little town, and we were just driving through again on our way back home, and I thought, oh, yeah, we should check this out. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess you would say, kind of the southern part of the state. Maybe what's considered southwestern because it's near Bowling Green, but yeah, even that area is still not really what I think of as far western, Paducah and all that. But anyway, yeah, it looked like a neat little town. I did pull up the Wikipedia page just to get a little info on it, and it says Glasgow is a home rule class city in Barron County. It's the seat of the county, and the population was around 14,000 as of 2010. The city is known for its Scottish Highland Games. And in 2007, Barron County was named the #1 rural place to live by Progressive Farmer magazine. And there's a little bit of information. I do know as we were driving around, obviously they've got a nice little, area of shops and that kind of stuff. It was getting about lunchtime. We got a really early start this particular day, and drove around Hartsville, which is a nice little town if you're not familiar with it there in Tennessee. But we drove through here, and we were thinking of something for lunch, and we were hoping for maybe a Panera or something like that. So, a nice little place to sit down and eat something not too heavy. But we ended up coming along and seeing a gondolier, which will be coming up here shortly. We were kind of going by a strip mall, and my wife spotted gondolier. So we pulled in. We found our place for lunch, and even though we would have liked to have had something a little lighter, something kind of maybe salad-ish on this particular day, we love gondolier, and we never pass them up. I know there's one. Man, I know when we went to the Cumberland Gap, we saw one. Yeah, that's inside. We just had a nice cozy seat. They've got nice cozy booths. Always nice people working at Gondolier. That was a pizza we shared. And, man, I mean this in the most complimentary way. Gondolier to me is Italian by the numbers. If you want a good pepperoni pizza with cheese that just tastes really good, nothing fancy, no weird, funky ingredients. They didn't do anything crazy to it. It's just good straight up pizza. This is the place to go. My wife had the chicken parmesan, and she said it was among the best she's ever had. But yeah, it is just, if you want, oh my gosh, we shared that dessert, and we even took some of that home. It was way more than enough for 2 people. Probably 4 people could have shared that. But Gondolier, it's just a kind of a regional chain. We've seen them mostly in Tennessee. I know that there's one down by, there's one in kind of the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area that we hit, and we love that one too. But it's just, it's if you want just good straight up Italian food, it's the place to go. It's probably our favorite Italian restaurant, and I know it's kind of a chain. It's not crazy extravagant, but it's just really nice, and we like it. I just wanted to mention that real quick because we love Gondolier. But going back to the Wikipedia page on Glasgow, see if there's anything else interesting. It says U.S. Route 68 intersects at the center of the city, and the Louis B. Nunn Cumberland Parkway passes south of downtown with access from 3 exits. And it mentions Bowling Green is 32 miles to the west, Mammoth Cave National Park 21 miles, and Elizabethtown is 55 miles. Columbia is 37 miles. The city of Glasgow was established by state assembly in 1799. The same year, the community was selected as the seat of the new county, owing to its central location and large spring. Native John Gorin's donation of 50 acres for public buildings, and it's being named for the Scottish hometown of the father of William Logan, one of the two commissioners charged with selecting the county seat. A post office was established in 1803. Historic homes all across Glasgow are historic homes that can be dated to the early 1800s. Now I know, after we've been there, I hear this. The most popular part of town with these homes is South Green Street. This street has many historic houses that have many different architectural styles. Okay, well, next time I'm in town, I've got to check that out. Western Kentucky University was originally in Glasgow when it was established in 1875, but 10 years later it moved to its present location in Bowling Green. But since 1998, it's operated a regional campus in town. And it mentions that during the Civil War affected many smaller towns like Glasgow. There are many places that were part of the Underground Railroad, such as Big Spring Bottom for keeping horses, and the Spotswood House on North Ray Street for hiding slaves. Other places included the old Glasgow Seminary home on East Main Street. This house has several rooms dug out in the earth with tunnels running into them for keeping the slaves hidden and safe. Well, how about that? And there is a section in Wikipedia, George Washington in Glasgow. Former U.S. President George Washington. Man, are they name dropping or what? Had a half-brother named Augustine Washington Jr., who was the spouse of Anne Aylett Washington, and had a daughter named Elizabeth Washington. Elizabeth Washington married to Alexander Elliot Spotswood and were given a home and land from George Washington, Elizabeth's uncle, in Glasgow. The home, called Spotswood after its first owner, Alexander Spotswood, is located at 309 North Ray Street. Man, something else I've got to check out. How about that? Let's see. It talks about the economy, notable people. Trying to see if there's anybody that jumps out at me. Denny Doyle, former Major League Baseball player. Jim Gray, mayor of Lexington, grew up in Glasgow. There's a fella that's, I know, well known and well talked about in the area. I crossed his path a couple times, always a friendly fellow. Dave Harris hosted the syndicated radio show Retro Rewind and songwriter. See if there's anybody else that pops out. Several of the usual journalists, politicians, and that sort of thing. Oh, Diane Sawyer, journalist and host of ABC World News. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. Steve Nunn, Louis B. Nunn, political names and other stuff. Several members of the Kentucky Headhunters are from there. I saw them in concert, man, back in the 90s at the Everly Brothers Homecoming Festival there in Western Kentucky. Also saw the Everly Brothers, of course, and John Prine, one of the most amazing shows I've ever been to in my life. And I think that might have been one of the last years that the Everly Brothers actually played that show when I went. The show went on till about 2 in the morning. I believe the Kentucky Headhunters closed. And I've literally been to hundreds of concerts. And the Kentucky Headhunters, mostly considered a country band, I would say, rocked like a brand new sin. Those guys were something. And their drummer, and I'm not a huge fan, I don't have any of their albums, but I've enjoyed the music I've heard from them. And I can say live, one of the best bands I've ever seen, and one of the most amazing live drummers I've ever seen. I remember him throwing the drumsticks into the audience during a drum solo, and then just going on with his kit using his bare hands. And it was crazy. I remember them doing Spirit in the Sky and just nailing it. And of course John Prine was there that night, and John Prine in my books has attained just saint-like status. John Prine can do absolutely no wrong. Anyway, but I did not know that some of the Kentucky Headhunters were from this area. A buddy of mine and an old Berea College fellow grad A friend of mine named Josh was in one of their music videos. But yeah, I'm sorry. Back to Glasgow. Obviously, a nice little city. Close enough to Mammoth Cave that next time I'm down near Mammoth Cave, I might have to go and visit some of those historic homes, especially since there's a George Washington connection. So, yeah, obviously I didn't hit everything in Glasgow I should have, so I'll need to go back and hit some stuff kind of off of the main drag here where we were. But yeah, nice little town. If you're from there, or if there's something I missed that you think I need to go back and catch, let me know. Leave a comment. I'd sure love to hear from you. If you know some history, if you know some interesting history about Glasgow, I would love to know a little bit more about it. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching with me.